Good afternoon. I'm Hannah Ferreira. Thanks for joining us this midday. We begin with breaking news on the campus of Chattanooga State Community College, where there is heavy law enforcement presence. Now let's take a look at video captured by our crew on scene. We received information that area law enforcement is responding to what they call a credible threat. Now, a spokesperson for the school says the campus is currently on lockdown. Now, News Channel 9's Mary Beth Mangrum just spoke with law enforcement and has details on what led to all of this. Mary Beth.
Yeah, Hannah, we just got an update from officials here at the Hamilton County Emergency Communications Center. They tell us that all of this started at Chattanooga State at 9:45 whenever they received a phone call that was a credible threat. After that happened, Chattanooga State sent out text alerts through their Tiger Alert system at 9:52. Two of those alerts were sent out. And then after that, there was an emergency notification sent out from the Office of Emergency Management here in Hamilton County. We also learned that there were several departments who responded or were already on Chattanooga State's campus. That includes the Chattanooga State Campus Police, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, Chattanooga Police Department, as well as the Hamilton County Park Rangers. Now, the FBI is also assisting in this investigation as they work to determine if that is a credible threat. They've begun to sweep each building, every door, every single building on that campus, even into the Riverwalk, to make sure that there is no credible threat before they lift this lockdown. And students will remain on lockdown even after it's cleared. They will stay there until it's completely safe. The Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management reported a possible gas leak, but right now, again, their priority is safety. So Chattanooga Fire is staging right now and will then go in after that threat is assessed to see if there is a gas leak. And the biggest thing that we learned is that there is no injuries that have been reported. No reports of gunfire have been made on the campus. Hamilton County EMS did treat 2 people for anxiety-related concerns, but again, no injuries.
At 9:45 a.m., we received a credible threat at the Chattanooga State's main campus located on Amnicola Highway. At 9:52 a.m., Chattanooga State sent out a release, I should say a text message that put Chattanooga State on lockdown.
We have seen or heard no gunfire. We have encountered no suspect physically or victims.
Now, Hannah, we asked about the nature of that credible threat that they received, and Chattanooga Police Department Interim Chief Jerry Summers told us he described it as a potential kidnapping with some information about guns being available, but at this time, the threat itself is not discernibly clear. They still do need to do an investigation into what that meant, but as of now, they're saying that there is no danger for anyone outside of the campus, and so far have not found any danger on that campus itself. We'll let you know when more information becomes available. Reporting in Chattanooga, I'm Mary Beth Mangrum, News Channel 9.
Mary Beth, thank you. Now, so far, we've learned that no shots were fired, no suspect was found, and there were also no victims, and law enforcement is currently doing a sweep of the area. Now, we want to check in with Maggie Weaver, who is also currently on scene. She spoke to parents and students about the situation. Now, Maggie, what did they tell you?
Hannah, thank you. For the past 2 hours, I've been standing here right across the street from the entrance of Chattanooga State with some concerned parents. Now, I can tell you right now, police officers have just come across the street. As you can see, this group of families gathered here. Lots of these people very concerned about their families, their students that have been inside of Chattanooga State on this lockdown over the past 2 hours. I have spoken to quite a few of these parents who, of course, are concerned. Some of them telling me that their students were, of course, safe, but they were being able to FaceTime them and get updates from speakers inside of the college. I can also tell you that I've seen some very kind things happen out here today, despite all of the chaos. We've seen, it's very hot, I can tell you that one thing is, and we've actually seen a lot of these parents, despite their concern running to go buy waters for these other parents who are sitting out here in the heat, just waiting on some answers. And it does, of course, like I said, look like they are about to be getting some answers. So we're hoping to go talk with police in just a moment about that. Again, parents very concerned. You can see that the entrance here behind me still blocked off to Chattanooga State. They're not letting any cars in that area. But of course, we will continue to keep everyone updated. I've also talked to some of the classmates, people that were in the parking lot that actually said that they were scared getting a text message saying that there was a credible threat, as police have called it. And so they were able to eventually leave the campus through a side entrance just a little further down Amnicola. Of course, those fears still there, but they are glad that they are safe and do have some communication that they told me that they had with those classmates that were still inside the building. Again, police are updating families right here, right beside me, and of course we will continue to keep you updated. Hannah.
Thank you so much, Maggie, and we'll continue to follow the situation as details continue to unfold. You can depend on us to keep you updated right here and online at newschannel9.com.